All right. We're back. All right, let's get the volumes adjusted here.
Had to get the intro.
Yeah, right. Got to work on that.
Yeah.
I'm going to crank you up here. All right. I'm back. This is Juicin. And I'm going to adjust my mic because I have to go way into it.
Put it up in the treetops where the giraffes live.
Yep.
Back with Nick,
What's
Silverhatch, Lonnie, EZ Money.
What up?
And it looks like our first podcast was a hit.
Yeah, did good.
And we're officially all millionaires.
$100 bills.
Yeah.
Got a roll of pennies.
We'll be all leaving in our GTRs. So
This isn't fake cots.
No.
We don't get GTRs.
No GTRs and Lambos here.
No.
So we're gonna check out the first episode of Pinks when all three of us were there.
Memories.
But first, I guess I should get him on the horn. Make a little noise here. Pause this. We're gonna talk with Pete, the Dirty Greek from Scandalous, who was the original, the creator, I guess.
Well,
Right?
his idea.
Yeah,
I don't know if he was the creator. He had a lot of people involved.
He was
at
one
that
of the
point, but
main
He was the
three. Him,
It
Gus,
was his
and-
idea,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, him, Gus, and his old man.
Yeah.
So let's do this.
Hit the flashback button.
Hmm?
Flashback.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let's do this. Yes, we're getting pretty advanced over here.
Or we're very
Yeah,
princesses.
yeah,
are
or
coming
we're just failing on a major level.
on. I can actually hear it ring. That's good.
Yeah.
Means
It's
it might
working.
work.
Let's see if he answers.
Holy
Is he there?
shit.
Is he there?
I'm here.
All right.
What's up, Pete?
What's going on, man?
We got Nick and Lonnie here.
What up?
What's happening, buddy?
What up, gangsters?
Nothing. Are you somewhere quiet?
I am somewhere quiet.
All right, cool.
I'm in my fucking office.
You wearing
Perfect.
clothes?
I'm gonna crank you up a little
Wearing
bit.
clothes, though?
Yeah.
Are you fully dressed?
Clothes are required, so.
No shirt,
No,
shoes,
no.
service.
Yeah. As long as you're fully clothed in this interview, we're good. Oh. So what's up, man? How you been?
Everything's good, man. You know, just working, living the dream.
Yeah. What do you like? None of us have spoke to each other
No.
in like what, a
Years.
decade?
Yeah,
I
long
think
time.
It's been a while.
We've
Been a
seen
long
each other here and there, I think.
I haven't
years.
seen Pete in
It's been a long
years.
time.
Long.
I think I saw him at a
I got
car
into
show
the
once.
corporate world, you know,
Yeah. What are you doing?
for a little while.
You still on the TV stuff or no?
I'm still doing that. I'm still producing. I'm directing now. I'm just launching a documentary, so I gotta act somewhat civilized somehow. But you know, I send you some videos. We still do this shit all the time.
So we'll just end this phone call now then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You know, that stuff doesn't die.
Yeah, right?
Oh no.
Did
Like
you
a fine wine.
It doesn't.
did you show them?
Man, I remember when I made some money, I bought a crazy ass car. I bought a Bentley R&R T. I got rid of it in 2,000 miles. I went out and bought a '93 Mustang.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I was like, man, this fucking car sucks.
You upgraded.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, basically you're the official person on the second podcast.
You are
So-
the
Perfect.
The
figure-
first guest,
Yeah.
I guess.
First
Exactly.
guess, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't know what we were doing
Man.
last time, and we just added sound effects for
You
this
will
one.
forever be that $1 bill glued to the wall.
Yep. Exactly.
So basically, everybody's going to incriminate themselves. We're all going to jail, and our careers will be ruined.
And now,
Yes.
and now you're involved.
Yep.
Yes.
So there's nothing you can do about it.
Fuck it, whatever's out there, it shouldn't be as worse at what could happen, you know? No.
Listen, man, we made that video. We already incriminated ourselves
Yeah.
over a decade ago.
Dude,
Yeah.
back when it was like, no, you know, it ain't what it was now.
Oh no, yeah, it was forbidden
You
by
had
the
flip
normal
phones.
punishment.
Well, I'm just saying
Yeah, I mean, you had nothing that you could get in trouble with.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
no, they
no
had no
video.
way to.
Yeah, I guess that's
You know, in that end.
But I'm just saying it was way worse back then too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And if the dude's trying to sneak a video, you would see like the 40-pound
Yeah.
camera on his shoulder, like,
Looked
hey,
like
that dude's
a
filming
like a
us.
boom box with
Yeah.
a lens.
like
on
an
it.
NBC5.
Yeah.
Live news.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Remember the
When are we starting, director?
listening thing?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on. We're just recording.
Yeah,
like I
we're
said,
on.
we're just bullshitting, dude. It ain't.
on.
This ain't no sophisticated show. It's a bunch of idiots that bought
Yeah.
some equipment, and we're gonna see what happens. So, no, I just figured we kind of started off last time with how we all met and shit like that, and then the kind of the next thing that happened was Scandalous.
Like what
So
made what made you think about it?
Like, what did you do?
For me?
Like what popped in your guys' head? You, Gus, your dad.
And how long
Where
had
else? Like-
you thought about it before
Well-
you actually started taking steps?
I guess
Gus is just silly.
Hold on, before I guess if we didn't say who this is, if you guys remember, it's still on YouTube, so you can type in Scandalous Racing and then type in Sin episodes, which is Scandalous Internet Racing. There was no YouTube. It had to be on the internet. Yeah. So,
This is Stang Stomper.
yes, thanks. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You did have a name. That's right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that. But yeah, this is Pete.
Yeah.
Pete, and then it was Gus. So he was.
Pete the Greek.
Yeah.
And these are the 3 malacas that I have
Yeah,
with
right.
me here.
Yeah.
The Southside Stick Up.
Yeah.
Somewhat relevant in our own world. Oh.
Yeah, what made me think about it is that's what we used to do here in the neighborhood. Back here in the neighborhood, they called you guys Southside Stick Up. They called us NSSR,
Yeah, that's right.
the Northside Street Racers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there was a bunch of cliques out here, some guys were into the gang thing, it's city shit. We were always into the cars. And I'd always talk to my cousins in Greece about it. In Greece, they don't have any fast cars. They had no idea. So, camera technology wasn't anything back then, but I was already starting my career as a journalist. And we're just messing around with some cars, and Marco had built this. He bought this Supra. I remember when he bought it. We thought it was junk.
Mark. Yeah.
I mean, it was junk at that time. He bought it for nothing, that white Supra.
Maybe when he bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when he bought it, it was still new. I want to say it was 96. Okay. And he brought it over, had like 10,000 miles. And back then, those cars weren't bringing in any money. He got it for cheap because nobody really wanted them.
Yeah, back then, nobody knew
Now they're like
the potential.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So he started throwing some stuff at it. It started getting faster. And then we heard about this barbecue party. And that was at Lonnie's
My
house.
house, yeah.
So we go over to Lonnie's house. And, some shit talking. I still have the video. Skin was there.
I'll throw the video up on you because it's part of the trailer or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll throw it up on here on the video.
No bar with street tires on. We'll whoop your ass.
Right here.
Getting it funded.
Because you got to prove that there's at least 2 turbos on the car right now.
It might be 3.
Pop the hood, show us 2 turbos, so let us look at them.
You didn't say that a minute ago. Now you want to. First you said you want to see us do this and do that, and you gonna pick
All
which
we
one you want to
said
do.
was take 1 turbo off the car.
If you got a car with 2 kits and someone says take 1 kit off, you're gonna take the one off, the one's gonna be jetted a little higher, ain't it? What the fuck's the problem with me doing that?
Video side of the podcast.
Yeah.
The actual Scandalous made that whole conversation look kind of weird, like I was asking him to take one of his turbos off. You guys edited it weird because you guys had said, well, it originally had twin turbos, or if it only got 1 turbo, can I get something? I said, well, you at least got to show me there's 2 on it now. And yeah, that was a good time.
And then,
That's good.
We had a lot of people
then
showing that.
There's a lot
Bookie
of
said there
people.
might be 3.
Oh,
There might
Bookie.
be 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was just you there. That wasn't part of anything, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of the idea.
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea because I was actually just gathering footage to show my cousins in Greece. There was no YouTube back then. I was going to take the tape there and show it to them.
And we got some
And
action
then,
off that day. Marco didn't.
Yeah,
but,
we got some action
but
down
there
that
were-
day.
Yeah, there were some races that day. And I would say, man, 20, 30 cars had to show
Yeah.
up. Race cars
Yeah.
and a couple hundred people. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
popping.
It was legit.
It was good
Yeah,
time.
and
Yeah, that's the day before. Like, I think we had some prime codes or some garbage cell phones that didn't even work.
I don't think next.
87
Nextels,
cents
yeah.
a minute. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nextel wasn't around yet.
Yeah.
There was no chirping.
We couldn't even find Lonnie's house. We were still using maps.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know?
The gas
There
station.
wasn't a whole lot of houses around that neck of the woods back then,
And it's sad
Yeah.
that we're only talking about the early 2000s.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's crazy. Most of the stories we talk about, I mean, I've been doing it for years
Yeah.
up until that point.
Yeah, I didn't get in until like
No,
2000.
Yeah.
so I was new.
We
yeah.
were around the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I was
You were back of the yard.
back of the yards,
Yeah.
the 90s, the Ogden and
Yeah.
Costner. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Doty, old Doty.
When they ran the bikes the other way?
Yeah, when we both had
everything had separate sides.
Yeah.
You had your assigned
Yep.
side.
Yeah.
I do remember going there for that, though.
Yep, and the tracks were the separation. 42nd Kildare, all in good spots, man. That was.
And then people got to realize that, I guess, at the same point, like what I always say is that MMA, you know, in the mid '90s, if you saw UFC on pay-per-view, everyone was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe there's blood on the ground," shit like that. And then now it's everywhere and everyone's in it.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of the same way street racing was, and
it was always around, but once it became to the public, it was.
Yeah, I don't think anyone documented it big. Did I know New York had a video, but I think that was after. Remember that dude in that Nova doing
the New York guys had.
You're talking about the .net boys.
Yeah, that's when they went like Times Square.
Yeah,
just terrorizing the town.
Well, you can fast forward later when you do Lower Whacker.
Lower Whacker, yeah.
That was dumb. It was cool.
Yeah, no, we came out with this stuff first. We were the first ones to do that. You know, we were kids though, so we didn't really milk it for all we could. But people thought it was crazy.
Yeah, we were all in our 20s.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Early 20s.
Well, the problem too is once it finally came out, the technology was getting there. You're making DVDs, and then people are sitting there duplicating them.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
There was
scanning it.
copyright.
It's like you couldn't really get the full potential because it could have probably went somewhere.
Yeah, there wasn't HD. Which sucks.
No.
But
Yeah, you
it's
could
like
just
people
burn
had to
copies
get the
left and
DVD
right.
to see it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So basically you just go for it, and then you get your old, because at that point you were working at NBC or something, right? So you were like camera guys, you and your old man.
That is the perceived story.
Oh, okay.
So you stole equipment from
Somebody was working somewhere that was official.
Yeah.
Maybe in Mexico or something. I'm not sure.
That's all right.
Yeah. So.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, I remember me and
Well,
Nick,
no, the idea came when we took Marco's car. We wanted to test it. We went out to Houston. So back then we used to travel a little bit with Marco. We used to try to find other spots. So we go to Houston, and this guy Jungle George comes out with this Mustang. It was rowdy, big tires, and they come wake us up at 3 a.m. They said, "You Chicago boys can't come here and just walk through town. We got a car outside." So we wake up, and nobody was scared of the Supras, but the Supra was moving pretty good. But we still thought we were going to lose. This guy negotiates the race and tells us that he wants to go off a roll. We'll say, "Fuck it, we'll take it." So, of course, we beat him.
Yeah.
That was a video. It was in a video, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's stupid on their part.
Yeah.
That was the first kind of trailer that we cut, but it wasn't, the idea for Scandalous wasn't there yet. So we had Shep. I don't know if you guys remember Shep.
I don't. I have to see a picture.
Kid with the glasses. He was always
that's the
around.
dude.
Little Iranian kid.
Yeah.
Ain't that the dude that flew home with me from Florida?
The what?
The dude that flew home with me from Florida when you flew me.
Yeah, he's a big shot now. He was
Really?
he's in San Francisco. Last time I saw him, he pulled up in a Bentley.
No shit. Wow.
He's like some kind of security specialist for the internet.
Good Lord.
But so what happened with that is he had a server because there was no YouTube.
Yeah.
And the next day we put it up there, and I sent it to my cousins in Greece. Well, they sent it to a couple other people. There was forums around, but there was no like video sites.
Yeah, you couldn't even watch
And they
it.
shut his
You had to
server down.
download. You had to download it to watch it. So you
Yeah.
couldn't even just watch it. You had to like, download it and then you'd watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we edited it on
wild.
Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
It was some junk.
For all these,
But,
all these millennials.
They shut down the servers the next day. We got a bill for something like $4,900.
Yeah, because back then same thing. If you hosted something, you had like same with your cell phone. A couple years back, you had a certain amount of gig limit, and if you went over it, then they'd charge you.
Yep.
So
Yeah. So they shut down the server, and then we got the data from it, and it had hit in 24 hours 103 countries.
No shit.
Shit.
And we were reading, posts on the forums that tell you where it came from.
Yeah.
And
That's
one of the
cool,
guys,
'cause we
he's
didn't
like,
know any of this shit.
No.
yeah.
We're just told
One
to
of the
go here and
guys,
race.
he's like,
Yeah.
he was like, that shit is scandalous, and that's how the name stuck.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So after we went to Lonnie's party, I had a little bit more of a psychological approach to this. I'm like, the cars racing are cool, but it's really not about the cars. It's about the characters,
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it. People loved Lonnie. and everybody hated Juicin. So Juicin became like the Floyd Mayweather. You know, you hated the guy, but you would pay to watch him lose or hope that he would lose.
Yeah.
Haters make you famous.
Yeah.
I know Juicin went back down the bench and whipped out another couple kicks just in case.
Feel it. Feel it.
Oh, there it goes.
Everybody stay where you are. That was a big no-no. I don't know.
Haters
So we started building everything around the characters, you know, because most people, if you talk to people even today, nobody's going to tell you about, you know, this car that they saw run down the track and it was so fast or down the street. They're going to be like, that fucking cocky son of a bitch, Juicin.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
correct,
so that's how that was built. And then Lonnie had that infamous line about dragging that gold
that's
motherfucker on
later, they played the
1320.
other one,
Yep.
Yep.
Still gets used by everyone else. Oh,
And that thing made Lonnie seem like a superhero.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that was,
fuck it. We rolled.
you know.
He rolled on with the car with a big block in it, and he remember I remember, like I said, H-Town Racing was like the big forum besides Chi-Town.
Yeah.
So, and we rolled on with that, and like, do you remember that crowd there? It was fucking
It was huge,
Yeah.
and they were crying, you know, and they had a big iron. You know, we had a little 8-2-deck small block, so
Yeah.
that was it.
Well, that's actually funny, too.
A little more than 300.
But because Chi-Town was born, Chi-Town was born because of all this shit talking. There was no forums. There was no H-Town.
Yeah.
But there was ls6.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
And back then, they allowed us to have this little forum. It was called the NSSR forum.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, I do remember that. Wow.
You know, back in the day, everybody was so polite. They're like, excuse me, sir, do you have this wrench? Can you tell me how to remove this cylinder head? Thank you kindly.
Oh, you
And then you had us.
Yeah.
And we were like, bring that shit down, and we're going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know, they would put asterisks on the words fuck and everything.
Dude, let's see if I can find it while you're talking. I think I might have deleted it, but that's what I said, how we got trained.
Oh, yeah.
That's Chi-Town.
Where the fuck was it that one? It's probably gone now. Let's see.
Man, I remember, dude, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages on like one.
Oh, it was
post.
crazy.
Oh,
It would go. It would be an argument. And
Like people just couldn't start a new one.
No,
they had to continue the other one.
Oh my god.
And it was like archived forever.
Oh man,
People
Big time.
talking shit.
We had the antagonist, too. Do you guys remember spraying LS1?
Oh,
He would always fuck with Juicin,
Yeah, dude.
I wonder,
terrorize Pro Stock John.
Yep, and nobody could figure out who it was.
I think I have an idea. I'm talking to him.
I can tell you for sure it wasn't me.
Yeah.
But we know spraying. You all know spraying. You just don't know that it's him.
I'd have to say I'm gonna have to give credit, and I'd have to say it was Fanta because fucking hater could talk shit. Like the kid's a weird motherfucker.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't find that post. But there was some fucking thing when I Googled Juicin GTA. It was an old post that just didn't even have us involved in it. But it said, hey, have you ever gone to ChitownRacing.com? It seems like all these guys
kill
hate each other, want to kill each other. And then it seems like they'd get in fisticuffs or something in person. That's what I said, I'm like, Chi-Town trained me to be the fucking shit talker.
Yeah.
Oh.
We were like the black sheep of the automotive world. They're like, who are these guys? They're so rude.
Yeah, right. I know. And then that's what I was saying. Like the Wilson races out here, and he was a couple years ago. He was like, "Dude, you can't be like that anymore, man." He goes,
I mean, originally when we started thinking about Scandalous, we were thinking about building the story around the Nitrous junkies. I don't know if you guys remember Pizza and Boom,
Yeah, Boom and all them. I had to race against them guys.
and they were legendary back in the day. But the shit talking Juicin would do, and the way Lonnie would drive.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Lonnie would drive the shit. If the shit could be on fire, he'd stay in it.
I'm gonna try. Yeah. I mean,
And I said, you know, these fucking guys, you know, they're crazy, man. They're a lot more wicked. They talk crazy shit. You know, we got to go with these guys. And then the name, the Southside Stick Up, was perfect. So that's how we came up with that.
I think Marty gave us that name, didn't he?
well, it was the night that Drunk George raced that bike.
Yeah.
But the sun came up. I'm
Sun came
Blodgett.
up, you
holy
guys,
fuck.
you
I'm
guys are
Blodgett.
Southside
And then the
stick
next day it was,
Yep.
don't go down there, Southside, fucking stick up, blah blah blah, scamming or hustling and this and we're like.
Well, the problem is like we were probably the only group that gave in to a lot of
stupid
races.
shit.
We shouldn't have.
We, on paper, we probably should have
We
lost.
shouldn't
we were
have.
like, fuck,
And
we're
we
gonna
won
try it.
most of them, so
Yeah,
it was good.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was real good. Yeah.
What you call it? I mean, Marco's.
Well,
fucking
yeah,
car,
we tested that thing on
Blodgett.
Doty the one night.
And
Well, no,
Doty, yeah.
Doty before Blodgett.
Which
We
car?
tested Marco.
Oh,
the
Marco's
Supra.
car,
We're
yeah.
sitting there testing. We're like, dude,
Yeah.
like this thing's
It was
stupid. I mean, it was
stupid,
fast.
stupid,
and we're
stupid
like,
power.
you got to pull power out. And he's like, well, I got a spool with nitrous. Like, listen,
And he just
Tru-
put a 400
you know,
in or something
you
like
know,
that. First
truck-
Supra with a
we're-
400.
and we sat there and we're like, trust us. Leave on booze.
just let it
and he
roll
made a
in.
hit, and we're sitting there like in awe. We're like, holy shit. He came back. He was like, oh, that thing felt slow
Yeah,
as
it
shit.
was
It's like,
slower, but
dude,
that ain't
it
doing
was
nothing.
fast,
It was
dude.
fast
Like,
as
you
fuck,
don't
dude.
need to go 105, 60 foot on the
Fuck,
street.
no.
Like,
That car was beyond
it was
itself back
dumb.
then.
And it would get out like 200 foot and just be all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, it was fast. And
It was, especially for the time era,
yeah.
and nobody thinking anything of it.
Fuck no,
Yeah.
dude. Nobody
And
knew
because-
nothing about
Because
turbo.
the
Nothing was
majority of the
turbos,
guys
yeah.
that we raced with were all
Nitrous
domestic.
and-
Well,
yeah,
nitrous
yeah.
and domestic cars.
Yeah.
Like when you see something like that, we're like,
Yeah.
turbo,
Well,
single
that-
turbo.
I mean-
we're like, this thing's popping and banging, shooting fire out. We're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck's wrong with that fucking thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was fast. Like
Yeah.
none of us actually
Raced
raced,
them,
it.
no.
I mean,
No.
we tried to help them race.
No.
We tried to get a couple
Yeah, we
races
never
for
got
them,
action against them, no.
but it was ridiculous. But it was hilarious when he come back and get out, put his hands on his hips, like that thing felt slow.
Yeah.
We're standing there, we're like, are you?
With his, like, gator back
Yeah,
shoes or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
you
big-
know, and
big
his
old
Jimbo
alligator
jeans
shoes.
and
He was on his
fucking-
way to Crowbar.
Yeah, like, he's all fucking dressed up, you know?
Yeah,
that
because
thing was
then,
fast.
I mean, who else was on? I haven't watched it in forever either because I don't have the DVD. Fuck, who else raced on it besides us?
I mean,
Scandalous.
Scandalous, yeah.
there's a lot of good little clips. And then they went down to Florida, or had some Florida clips.
Yeah,
had some
Florida,
clips.
Texas.
So, yeah, so
Florida was the best.
yeah, because you
Florida.
I
guys,
remember when we took Lonnie down to Florida.
Florida
I
was a
thought
good
Lonnie
time.
was insane.
Yeah. And I hustled.
So we go
like
down to Florida.
half a gram of weed
This
on
guy
the
gets off the
airplane.
plane.
I thought I was going to go to jail.
And then he unrolls his little, I want to say it was a joint or something.
Yeah.
And I said, where the fuck did you get that? He goes, I brought it on the plane. I said, are you crazy, man?
Fuck yeah, dude. I was like, man, I ain't going to be able to find no fucking weed down there, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I need something. So,
I couldn't believe he brought that shit on the plane.
take a chance. Well,
But he brought it all nonchalant. He
Yeah.
wasn't even hiding it.
No, it was just in the suitcase in a cigarette pack. Hiding in plain
Well,
sight. I guess.
then renting a vet and
yeah,
Renting a vat,
let's
yeah.
spray it.
rigging nitrous on it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that was,
we had to shoot some promos
Yeah.
with him.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, his promos were
at that
made.
time we had a backer.
The backer was the guy, the pizza guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I took
he
him
ended up
for a-
losing all that.
Really? I took him
Oh,
for
the
a-
whole, you're talking about the
Lost
pizza
the
joint?
pizza
yeah,
place?
or what is it, Giordano's or Aurelio's? or
I don't
something?
want to say it wrong.
Well, I don't know.
Apparently or supposedly, it might have been one of those chains.
But I remember taking the old guy for a ride, and hopped in that vet. Man, we were sitting in the parking lot, and there was like a dip, and it was A1A that
Yeah.
I went out onto, and he hopped in, and man, I just turned that traction control and literally just stuck it, dude. And I went sideways across this dip out onto A1A. I mean, like Drift King style, like sideways with this old dude in this vet, and he was scared a little bit. Yeah,
He was older. He's probably
Yeah.
in his fucking
Yeah.
60s.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
At the
came
time.
out.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's a good
I
time.
got to say, it was a mistake bringing in a backer because then they buy a seat at the table.
Yeah,
You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, we gave that guy 20 years more of life. He never had so much fun in his life, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, he was cool. He
Yeah,
was a
cool.
cool dude.
Do you
Yeah, he was
still
cool.
do you still have a whole bunch? Because I remember you said like you had a shit ton. Do you still have
Of
them?
what?
The DVDs?
DVDs?
Yeah.
I got some. I kept some in archives.
Yeah.
You know, the you know, we partnered with Sony to print them.
Well, I remember that.
And I remember when we first, it got expensive, but, you know, we didn't really know. The internet was in its infancy, and we didn't really know things. I mean, it was just right after, like, AOL 2.7 with dial-up and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
And what you would call it, and what had just got in trouble, the hot site for music.
Oh,
yeah.
What was that called?
What was that?
Fucking...
Napster. Yeah.
Napster.
They had just
Napster,
got in trouble with all this copyright stuff.
Everything.
And, you know, it wasn't so free speech anymore on the internet. The internet's not free speech. You know what I mean? Like,
monitored.
So do you ever think about doing anything now with the way it is?
I do.
Racing?
We've toyed around with the idea. I do. I'll be honest with you. I like the original crew. You know, I like the original crew. I've seen everything. Well,
I mean,
I've
just
seen everything
what
that's come out lately.
Racing, whether, you know, track, street, whatever. Like, you got way more.
Street,
you know, it's just, would you think about doing, obviously it's not going to be a DVD, but like something similar, like try to bring back the name, do it again?
I noticed the
absolutely,
website
man.
still works.
I think
the website's still up. We still bought it because we always had plans of doing something at some point. You know, sometimes life catches up with you and you start doing some work. But it doesn't change you. At least it didn't change me.
Yeah.
You know, I still do this shit. I got a Corvette. I got a Camaro in the garage.
Nice.
You know, I still mess with those things. I got Camaros in other people's garages, you know, that don't even run. But
and I seen the Pro Charger video you did. It's like
the Pro Charger video.
And you starred in it, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to show you later. It's real good.
You're talking about Inner Beauty, the one we did.
Inner Beauty, yeah.
God rest his soul, Jim Summers.
Where was that at?
Told us to put it together.
I'll let me pull it up real quick, and we'll play it so that way you can get your. Hold on, I gotta find it here. Scandalous.
Give him his 15 minutes.
Yeah, it was actually it's a good video, or it's a good. I mean, did they use it, or you just made it for him?
No, Jim Summers called me, and he had told me that they were doing some kind of competition, but he also told me that they actually needed a real commercial with a concept.
Yeah.
So I put that together for Pro Charger. Jim Summers was real happy. He passed away not too long after that, but he was really, really, really happy with what we did. I thought it was pretty slick.
Yeah, no, here, I'll play it. So hold on a second.
All right.
Obviously, you can't watch it because you're not here, but you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
Just pretend you're watching it.
Yeah.
Dad, do you think I'm ugly?
What?
Well, just the kids at school say I'm ugly.
That's Pete. It's the same eyebrow.
I think it's time we had a talk about inner beauty.
Oh, Jesus.
Inner beauty.
Your shallow, juvenile peers are probably too stupid to understand real beauty. Sound of a pro-charged small block revving up beneath the
It was. I don't know how much interview was on LT1.
The untamed feel of torque pinning you back in your seat. The poetry of an intercool system giving you enough horsepower to melt your knuckles into the wheel. The raw, hellish whistle of a pro-charged car.
Wow.
What your silly classmates don't get is PSI is king. And when you can outrun their flashy, lame, underperforming hunks of junk with your boosted, pro-charged, caged animal, no one's gonna with you. And that is a beautiful thing.
Wow, inner beauty.
Sounds like your mom's home.
Pete was always good for the European women.
That LT1 was getting it, though.
Which
that
one
car
of my
made some
handsome
power.
men want to help me with the groceries?
I mean, they made enough power for today's time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know that was your house because I remember the garage.
And your eyebrows.
Yeah.
And both your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's
so
hilarious.
What do you call it? Like I don't know. I guess we did the Florida thing, and then we We went to Houston, and
Yeah, well,
obviously we talked about all that. But.
Yeah,
The Houston thing was stressful.
It was very stressful. That was a long haul.
You don't remember you guys brawled in the parking lot out there in
That
Niles?
was just trying to sign them damn papers.
Well, we didn't bring that part up. That's why Nick didn't come. But
yeah,
I remember that.
Well, that was outside the pizza place.
Yeah.
That was gay.
Yeah.
But had you came, we had planned on stuffing both Mustangs in that trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know how that trip would have ended up.
Dude, it would have been.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think
that trip was crazy.
And bearings going like.
Yeah.
Well, that's when Tony was punching holes through fences and shit.
Yeah.
When you punch a hole through the fence because you yelled at him.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
That's because I was probably drunk.
Yeah.
The amount of people that were waiting for you guys.
A shot of water.
Yeah.
And he was hammered.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That crowd of people that were fucking there, dude, was ridiculous. Like
that was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like 10 people versus fucking probably 200.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was.
That was at least 200. I would say it was more than that.
And it just sucks that it was so cold because it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah,
you know,
they said it was a 1 week
random.
that it was super cold.
Just randomly cold and super cold.
Yeah.
And I never even got to get the bike out of the trailer either. I had that bike with me.
Oh yeah,
Gary Ray tires. Badass.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell it was I was riding.
Yeah, I mean, we were fucking goose chasing everywhere, trying to find roads,
Yeah.
and then we were at one point going to split up with.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, it was. But whatever. I remember that, like we said, Faraday was in it. That little skinny dude, and then the black kid. I can't remember. I remember he would talk shit on H-Town, the one that says "fuck it," whatever.
You want 2,000-3,000? Hell, make it 5. Yeah, they wanted me to sit down. They wanted me on motor and sit down with a big tire blower Nova.
Yeah.
Stupid.
And
We should all get together and do something again.
Yeah, that's when he said.
Oh, we need to.
You know.
Yeah, well,
he'll make it 5 or something.
we got something brewing. I figured you fell off planet Earth. I would have had you over here. Oh.
We got to get something going again because I'm looking at it. I'm looking at everything that's come out afterwards, and nobody's really captured that. They capture cars, fast cars,
not
but at the end of the day, it's not fun.
Of the people.
No,
like even the shows that are on TV now, like,
dude,
you get a little bit of background, but you don't get like what we did.
No,
you get some cool racing. Don't get me wrong,
because you're limited on time.
You are,
it's
but
changing
it's TV.
though now.
But if you think about all this YouTube and everything else that you could utilize it on,
the problem is we don't sit in a parking lot arguing anymore. So what footage you have to actually get? Do you get us during the week working on our cars? Because that's we don't argue, and if we do, it's like
you're typing your arguments now, or putting on Facebook. Or
so I don't even know how you would capture it. And if you tried to forcefully do it verbally, it would look forced. It's not going to be that roll off.
It took a long time because we didn't do that. It took a long time to shoot it because I said you can't script it. It has to happen.
No, it has.
It just has to happen.
Yeah.
Now, once you
can't tell you how much footage we have.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It changes then. Once you get people, even if it is on Facebook, we're talking shit, and you got, Wilson and whoever else. Once you get them somewhere, then it's different because then you can sit there and talk because it's fine. But getting them there is the first thing. It's hard enough to get them there because everything has to be a Facebook battle, and you got to be the king of Facebook, and everybody's a bunch of crying little bitches.
You know what I mean? People are
like the guys now, Pete. Like if you watch the guys that we kind of race with and give them credit, they do go out and race every weekend, but there's a lot of little crybaby bitches that would never have been able to race with. They wouldn't have been able to race with us when we did, and they can say that they're keeping the sport alive and we're the ancestors or whatever the hell they're calling us, but the truth is, like, they couldn't have handled the situation. Like you said it perfect. You can't. Wilson told you can't come out there and talk like that anymore. It's like that's how it was. That's what you had to do. We didn't. At the time,
you didn't stip every little thing.
You had to show up to a parking lot at 9 o'clock, whether you're there till 4 in the morning. Yeah. That's what you had to do.
Yep.
And that's the difference now. So if you can get them somewhere first, get them here to Tony's shop or wherever.
Yeah, the conversations.
Then the conversations are fine.
Yeah.
It actually does go back, but you got to get them there first.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's hard.
That's the biggest problem.
But everything is happening.
I couldn't tell you how many hours and hours of video we have of nothing because we'd go out and if something didn't happen, then it didn't happen. I was always of the opinion that you can't fake the shit.
Yeah.
No,
it's got to be what it is.
Yeah, no retakes.
Do you still have like all the raw shit? Like,
Oh yeah, of course. That's in the safe. You know, I kept it all for
like a real
safekeeping.
safe or like a computer safe?
Dude, there's a lot.
No,
of
like a
good,
real safe.
There's a lot of good footage.
yeah, you
there.
should just.
He has like big cameras.
I mean,
in
dude,
the safe.
YouTube, you can upload
Giant
4
cameras,
hours worth.
like,
You should just throw it all on
Sold-out
YouTube
cameras,
and
stuff in
edit
the
it
safe.
and
It's like a gun
stick it on there raw.
You got guys like Family Sedan passed away too. We got stuff of him.
Yeah.
You know, we got
was a
Skin
funny
and
He was a funny dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
we had some things that we left out. You know, there were some guys from Detroit. We were going to race Marco. You know, there was some guns got pulled out. We said, "Oh, well, this is too crazy. We're out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't even want to include that because that's the rarity. That never happens in this thing.
Yeah, and it is so rare, and it would have looked mainstream had you put it in there.
Yeah, it'll look like all
Well, would it
sorts
look
of
like
fake?
that
kill
happens
each
all
other.
the time. And
No,
it's like,
man, that'll look fake, but it would have looked.
it
It would
happens all the time.
have. There's already a bad persona that like some dude with a Honda Civic with a 10-inch fart can, little Hills Brothers coffee thing on his back of his car, driving down 80. Is street racing when he's going fucking 47 miles an hour because he passes.
That's the other famous line.
Minivan.
Yeah, the triple wing with
That was the other
Triple wing
famous
with
line
cheese.
from the movie.
The triple wing with cheese.
Oh yeah.
1.5 liters is a soft drink, not an engine size.
And then if you look at the video, me and Nick came straight from
We
called
came from
us
the gym.
Be like, just come over here.
We came from Lifetime.
And we're like,
I'm wearing some like yellow American Eagle or something shirt.
I got a beanie on from American
Beanie.
Eagle. And I think we came because we got to eat after for free.
My wife and my family's like, you had an earring? And it's like a hoop earring. I'm like, whatever. Dude.
I was young.
I was young.
Yeah.
We were put in a room, asked questions. I answered them honestly.
Yeah. Mine was down in Florida. And my cuts were I'm sitting on the hood of that yellow van.
No, we're sitting in some like office building or something. I don't know where it was.
Upstairs of the pizza joint.
Yeah, the pizza joint. We're like, okay, here's your question. Here's this. We're like, okay. And we answered honestly. I mean, that's what it was.
And then
you clip back and forth to the import guys. You get some.
Yeah, cut it.
Yeah.
So then
cut in.
I would love to produce another one of these things again, and I would like to do it with the original crew.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why we're here doing
still
this.
Around.
Come up with the budget.
That's why
give
we're
us some
doing
money so we can go buy nice fast cars. And
You know, the new stuff, the new generation, the new crew kind of sucks.
So that sounds nice.
The what?
You keep saying Bentley all the time. Everybody's
right?
Bentley. So.
It's rolling now.
Yeah, the new age street racers as a whole just
whole different story.
Whole different story. Yeah.
But yeah, if you could produce something like this, we could actually get them to a parking lot and talk the way we talk, like normal, not to show off or anything like that.
Yeah.
But talk the way we race.
Yeah, conversations will start.
We talk the same. I mean, we've always talked the same. They can say, "Hey, you're this old and you did this or whatever," but when it's face to face, we're not showboating online.
No.
If we talk shit online, they can say, "Well, you're washed up. You used to race, and back in the day, it's like, shit. My car was, and even the maroon car that you were running, like was."
I don't know about people calling them washed up.
They were not
think
washed
you guys,
up. Not washed up.
Yeah.
We're immortal, dude.
Those cars were fast enough. Granted, they were everything those cars had.
Yeah.
But they could hang.
They could hang today.
Granted, these people are taking power out, and we were putting everything we had.
We're putting everything in.
But we were going that fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were riding. So it was.
All the guys that were in Scandalous and what Scandalous was about is immortal. Through Scandalous, we didn't get all the glory. But look at all the things that's happened with Scandalous. You know, you get Rich Christensen that starts Pinks. You know, then you got like the Outlaws. The Outlaws, we had gone down to Oklahoma with Avoided Z. And we were trying to race, you know, farm truck. And they're great guys, farm truck and those guys.
Orange.
Yeah,
that's what Andy was driving.
Yeah.
And I remember
I talked to
Daddy
Andy.
Dave
He wanted to get
on
on.
with a
That'd be
mullet.
cool. Yeah.
Talking about wanting to race me.
Yeah.
Just before. Obviously, it was Daddy
and don't get me wrong, Avoided Z. I mean, that car was moved. I mean, he tried racing. Who was it? 3-lug on Volmer. We met up at that speedway when they first built it over there at the end. That was kind of near the end, but Andy was trying to drive that. Iraq Andy. Yeah. I mean, I think if you get even people like Iraq Andy, Jeff McCraven, those guys on here, like you get a whole nother spectrum of like racing. I mean, we raced a lot too, but there's some groups that,
like I said, I mean,
that were
I've been
like
doing it
out
for
there
years up
for
until
years.
that point.
Yep.
Marco still got the Supra. He's got a couple other cars, but he still got the Supra.
Didn't he just get it back though, or has he had it? thought he just
It's
got it
been
back.
sold and bought back a bunch of times.
He just got it back recently, though, right? That's what I
Yeah,
heard.
he just got it back recently.
Okay.
He's got a GTR that he's campaigning now.
Yeah.
That must be rough.
Yeah.
Pretty fast, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have an SVO, 84.
Yeah. I hit my leg on a can
Four eyes
earlier.
are
I got
growing.
a bruise on my shin.
Yeah,
So-
they're different.
So, what'd you say?
I said, yeah, I hit my leg on a can. I got a bruise on my shin. And
No.
stuff.
So yeah, when
But you got a GTR, that's cool.
yeah, right. When we would do all these shoots, Pete would. So obviously we're from fucking the South Side. Pete would have everyone come to the city above
so
the
we
pizza, the big pizza restaurant. There was a big offices, and that's where you guys did your editing and shit. And we were working out, and like I said,
We wore
free
clothes that didn't fit.
free booze and free food.
Yeah.
It
So
was like 8 pizza shows.
so one of the last probably ones that you did, the edit or whatever, like, hey, come check out the full edit. So we all rolled up, and that Florida guy rolled in with the Viper and shit. Remember that?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because it was like a weird, like, not an alley, but there was like construction on that
yeah,
one road.
yeah. So whatever, we're watching on the your editing screen and shit. Everyone's in this little room. We're all fucking boozing and eating and shit. So I'm probably 8-9 beers in, lit like a motherfucker as a Tuesday night, and Lonnie and the Florida dude are like, something comes up where they're like, they're gonna go fucking smoke some weed or take the one hitter out in the fucking alley. And I'm like, yeah, fucking dude, I'm gonna roll too. And I hadn't smoked weed in fucking 7-8 years. So they go downstairs and they're in the alley and he's got a little one hitter. I'm like, I hit it once. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm good. Hey, give me another one. I'm like, fucking hit it again.
Throw up.
We roll back upstairs. You don't remember that? We roll back upstairs.
Yeah.
McKay is next to me, and all of a sudden I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm like, holy shit, my fucking heart starts going. Heart starts going crazy, and I grab McKay. Like, we're in the background. Some guys are sitting down, and some guys are standing up. Where I'm all the way in the back, and I'm like, McKay, dude, come to the bathroom with me. I'm dying, dude. I'm dying. So we roll to the bathroom, and I'm like in the bathroom for 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, I think I'm dying. I think I'm dying.
Good herb.
So finally, I calmed down, and we roll back in. And I just started like laughing, dude. I couldn't stop laughing, and I was like, you guys were all looking at me like, what the fuck's going on with him? And I was like, straight up just tearing, laughing so hard at nothing. Yeah, and I was like, holy fuck. And that was the last time I smoked weed. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a
good
adventure.
times, man.
Yeah. No, they were.
That was fun.
Yeah,
They were
good
definitely
times.
different.
Good times.
Those were the days. They were different. Today's scene is not the same.
No,
I mean, it may or may not be true that some of us still go out, at night and hang out with these guys. But you see the new guys coming in, and they don't have the heart. Everybody, I don't even think they really want to race. They just have this car, and they think that car makes them cool.
Well, they want to race, but they don't want to lose.
But and now everything is a character. So like your car has a name. Yeah. All this shit. You know what I mean? It's like that's the thing.
Well, not only that though. Like you said it earlier briefly. Like everything now has to be a hat race. You can't just. We could sit down and me and Lonnie, if we want to sit here and argue and make fun of each other and jokes and this and that. End of the night, we're gonna race.
Yeah.
Me and Tony, we're gonna race. We're gonna go race.
Somewhere or another, we're gonna
Joey,
race.
Boost 12. We're gonna race. We're gonna race Andy. We're gonna race these guys. At the end of the night, the main goal after 4, 5, 6 hours of racing or arguing, we're gonna race.
Let's get something.
Now it's like you have to have a hat race, and now it's gotten to the point where there's rules of hat racing, which makes no sense. But the hat racing is like, well, we're going to meet here. We're going to put money in a pot, and it's cool. It is cool. You got to go 4 or 5 rounds to win the money, and that is, cool how it ends up. I mean, that's still cool racing. Don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say they don't have the heart. I just don't think they have the
balls.
They don't have the balls to sit there and just set up a true race. And there are guys on Facebook. There are guys that will just call out a guy, do a true grudge race. Like you got, Zay and them. He straight up calls out all these guys, and he flips their picture upside down on the internet. It's hilarious. No, you won't catch him on the street. But the
guard dog barking behind a big ass fence.
True. But at least you got somebody who's kind of willing to argue the argument.
No,
yes, he won't go on the street. But there's guys that won't go on the street that only race to the track. So be it.
I mean, I guess at the same point, some of these dudes are still younger like we were and broke. You know what I mean? You put all your money in
well,
your
like
car.
we said in the last episode, man, we raced that one race when you raced
when we lost,
Gibby
it
Kevin
was
and
like
stuff.
we were fucked for that week.
We're like, holy shit,
You know what I mean?
we lost 100. Would you
Dude,
lose $200? Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, you had
Driving
to work
on
overtime
fumes
for
'cause
4
you're like,
weeks just to
holy
make
shit.
it.
Yeah.
make
That's
it
why,
up.
like now,
you know,
it was
seriously.
big
since
deal.
we're the older guys, like whenever these hat races or whatever, and you know I'm not one throwing or whatever, I'll just donate to the pod or I'll buy in someone because it's entertainment. You know, for me to come watch it and be part of it and
I
shit.
won one the following week. I showed up just in the comment, but I bought in. Just to, you know, I'm on motor. I'm crawling. I know I'm going to go out, but I'm just donating.
I don't ever want to be the fucking idiot spectator that just looks like the asshole and is causing a scene. And you know what I mean? It's like, fuck it.
To me, a real race is more entertaining with the backstory. You know, these guys don't like each other. They got a problem.
Yeah.
You know, it builds up for a week or whatever. That's
cool.
exciting. Like the guy wins 10 grand. That's cool. You know, the hat races are cool, but it doesn't have that adrenaline.
Yeah, there's still people like that. Like there's Wilson, who's a South Sider, and there's Schoolboy, who's a North Sider. And Schoolboy blew his shit up last year just to put the scramble button on. And blew his Mustang up just to beat Wilson. And you know they scream at each other. It's funny. It's entertaining. So.
Holy shit!
What do you got?
Oh, he nuked it!
What do you got?
Yeah!
That's
still
awesome.
there. Yeah, I mean,
you will
Dude,
get
the
some
shit
guys
talking
that
is the
still call
best
each
part.
other out.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of racing is the shit talking.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
kind
the
of like
best.
it's kind of like your rap battle. You know what I mean? Whoever fucking can talk the most shit and
Like there's obviously certain people that you want to truly beat now.
Yeah.
Like go out there, you're like, I want these people first round. I want this.
And
you know, in the hat race world.
And
but
out
like,
here, it's a head game. Like if you can get in their head, I remember you
still
said
a head-
it. Lonnie
it's still
said
a
it
head
a long time. It's like, dude, it's not what car you're racing, it's who you're racing.
Yeah.
So whenever you would, whenever Mario was getting ready to race, I said, dude, I don't give a fuck what car Mario has. It's you're racing Mario, and if Mario has any involvement, sorry Mario, that car wasn't gonna make it. But look at Mario's good at. Mario was good at getting in people's heads and had Philly spot him out 8 cars or 9 cars when it should have been head up.
Nope, 500, Mario. I know you're bringing 500. You're bringing $500 up here. I'm giving you 10 on your fucking road, dude. This is. Yeah, no, you're. 500 lock-in. 500 lock-in. Period. 500 lock-in. Period. Take it or leave it. You're getting 10 fucking cars on your fucking road.
Holy shit, dude!
Yeah.
You know, getting whatever racing.
It's a talking shit and everything. That.
And you just get so pissed. You're like, fuck it, let's go. I don't give a fuck.
Mario's, man, he's down to race.
Shit talking is an art.
Yeah, it is. It is. And
it is.
Like I said,
There are guys that Juicin has traumatized their life from across the country that still probably go to therapy.
Dude, I mean,
you know,
I'll give Haiti or Hyder, I don't know how he says it. Really. Hyder. Yeah, Hyder is right. Yeah. I always just call him Hader, but whatever. Like he still is freaking just the shitty shit talker. Like the kid just can make comments. He's like, so you, Pete, you probably don't know who Beater Bomb is, but we did a cash days over here, and this Beater Bomb dude is.
He's like the fast dude.
Yeah, he's the fast little. Of course, he's got a Mustang. You know, me too. But what you call it? He's from. Or Oklahoma, not Oklahoma. No, Omaha. He's Omaha. Yeah, he's Omaha. Yeah, and he's fast, so he can talk shit if he wants to, but he doesn't.
He has like, our type of talk.
Yeah, he doesn't have to write a paragraph. Cool. Yeah, he'll make like one little liners in this fucking.
It's a one word response where somebody's like, "Well, screw you. You're just a little fucking prick, and you're rich, and you win this." And it's like, all right, so you're mad then?
Yeah, like,
and that's all. And that's all he says. Dude. Like he doesn't even respond.
He said
it's like a dull answer.
He said something to Mork. Mork went off and wrote this fucking tangent, and then like he said one thing, and I was like, oh my god,
Mork went to the gym and definitely lifted weights for like
thinking of Beater.
But that's fine. But that's what's cool, and it's cool. He was able to get in his head, and people can still get in people's heads and talk shit.
That's
why
people
are going to talk shit when they see this, and that it's fun. It doesn't fucking matter.
And
if you don't like it, don't watch it.
And growing up and being part of it, I always said that like you could have the biggest fucking redneck white trash motherfucker from the country. You could have the biggest fucking nigga from the hood that fucking talk shit about each person, fucking white boy cracker, that. But when everyone came together and raced, like, you didn't give a fuck. Everyone was even. It was all about racing, and fucking everyone got along. And you know,
I think everybody still gets along to a point.
I think for the most part, but I remember years ago, you know, before the cell phones and all that, and bringing people who weren't involved in street racing. Hey, come out with me, check it out. You know, now here we are. We're in the freaking hood. 3 a.m, surrounded by brothers and gangsters and everything, and we're arguing.
Yeah.
And the person
now these
that
people
I brought
are like, why did you bring him here?
They're like, why, dude? What do you? Don't argue with the. He's got fucking 12 dudes behind him. It's like.
Or people don't understand how some of the racing was. Remember when we went to the stockyard, you were racing Skin.
Kept
opening the door. Open the door.
Yeah.
But then when you finally said, screw it, I'm leaving, and that girl came
runs across the street for a better look.
Like clips her shirt with the mirror. We're like, dude. So we win the race.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. They were fine paying. And actually Skin sticks up. He's like, hey, get paid. He goes, you know what? You guys need to get out of here. Because you had a bunch of people who were just watching the race saying, you tried to run her over.
Yeah. And it was like.
But Skin being the racer and the guy he is in the background of racing was like, listen, here's your money.
Yeah.
Now, you should probably
so
that's a cool thing. The guys stick up for each other.
Because they were non-street racers.
The non-street racers stand there thinking like, making it looks like we just try to run somebody.
So the non-street racers, some of them don't realize that shit talking is just shit talking, and you got guys that want to fight and fucking, you know, they're ready to throw down.
They want to roll up their sleeves and just punch people. It's like, no, dude, it's not going to even get to that.
No.
I can honestly tell you that in all the years, I've never actually seen a real street fight go down from shit talking. And I've been around people like Skin, who is the champion shit talker.
Yeah, I remember, who was it, Truckin' and Mario? Who were the two on Central, 183rd and Central, that fought the one night?
I don't remember.
Yeah, the dude like supposed to get the hit, and he did. I don't know if it was Mario or not. I don't want to say that, but somebody, they came back and they're like, nah, and they're like wrestling in the road, and we're there for like 7 hours. I'm like, what is going on?
Were you here?
They're completely out of shape, probably. The wrestling match lasted like 12 seconds.
Yeah, if that.
When Pump Gas brought Roger and Joey rolled up Boost 12 and beat the shit out of him. Because Roger was like the hillbilly dude from Indiana. And Joey said something stupid, and you see his vein go on the side of his face.
Man. Yeah, I mean, you got the people that will swing, but back in the day, man, it was just good hard arguing.
It's still.
What about the events we tried to throw?
What do we do besides the parties at fucking World of Wheels?
When I rented the track a couple of times.
What, the street stuff like at the Grove you're talking about?
Yeah, we started doing that, and we got player hated right out of it. We threw out some good shows. It was cheap. People could get in.
I don't remember that.
We had wet T-shirt contests. We had advertised. We had everybody there, and then we got player hated out of it.
Yeah.
I remember the World of Wheels stuff.
Yeah, the World of Wheels was the fucking party.
When I went in there, we had a real cheap admission. We let everybody come in. We brought a ton of entertainment. We did this in Chicago. We did it in St. Louis. We did it all over the place. And we'd always bring entertainment. We brought some jumbo screens. We wanted people to get, as long as we broke even, we were all right. If we made some money, great. But the point was for for everybody to actually have a good time. And I remember, no name shall be mentioned, but I'd rent the place, let's say, for $3,000. I'd go back and we'd have a huge crowd, and the price would go up to $7,000 plus 50% of gate.
Yeah, right.
Changed.
Yeah. That's
So then I would offer
yeah.
$8,000. I said, I'll just give you $8,000. You know, I'll just give you $8,000, and I'll take the risk. And it never happened again.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a lot of haterade going on back then.
That's haterade. That's just money.
Yeah, everybody trying to find their piece of the property, you know, just getting in.
They killed it, though.
Yeah.
If you're asking $3,500 and I give you $3,500, that's it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, when they see it's
That's the
jamming,
one.
they're
That's
like,
the
"Whoa,
one.
wait a second."
Yeah.
That is the one good thing, at least out here, is we have 41 and we have Great Lakes. So those are like the competing tracks. So and they both suck for weather. Both fucking rain majority of the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, Great Lakes, in my opinion.
If they say it's sunny and 80 on Friday, and you're like, fine, I'm making an event. It's like 57 and like
raining.
Rain.
Yeah.
It just changes.
Yeah.
But at least we have both of them, and they're not like 66.
Yeah, exactly. We have.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but who goes to 66?
What do you guys think of the Outlaws?
Nobody.
What do you guys think of that series, Street Outlaws?
I mean,
it's good.
I like a couple of them on a personal level. You know,
the thing was, in the beginning, I thought the Street Outlaws show was good because it kind of followed what we did. I'm not a JJ the Boss fan, but I like, but I like the way they race.
Yeah, I like his.
I like the way they race.
Yeah.
I think the regular Street Outlaws show has fallen off. They're racing the same people over and over and over. It'd be the same thing if we raced the same people over and over.
Yeah.
But then you got No Prep Kings, and I don't, you know, they're.
I don't even watch that.
I watch it because I mean I think it's like they're actually getting after their cars, but they put a few people on the pedestal that they're giving. Yeah. They're giving the races to, and I won't name names.
Well, you can name names. It's fucking Ryan Martin.
Yeah, Ryan Martin's a
shit.
Yeah,
Ryan Martin.
I don't know that dude.
And then you know the ones are locked.
His car's fast. He has a lot of money in the car. He's giving a lot of shit. But like when you make rules and that series doesn't let people in, and like you got guys like Mike Murillo who busts their ass, so like a working man's racer. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he makes a bunch of money, but like you got guys that
he's
truly
grassroots.
He's fast. He's raced his whole life. Absolutely. He's a badass dude, and there's a bunch of other badass dudes. But then you get somebody like Ryan Martin. I'm not saying he hasn't busted his ass in the racing world, but listen, when you got Proline in your pocket and all these guys in your pocket, Precision, whoever. You get people, and I'm wearing a Precision shirt, but I'm not in their pocket. But you get all
sponsored by Precision
and Precision turbos, please. I need a new Ultra Turbo. But anyway, you get people like that who the rules are made around them. When you get Woody and you get Mark Wood or these guys racing and. Dwayne Mills and Ferris and them, they bring a car out. They build a car specifically for this shit. And they start killing people on their, I don't know how they do it, the Friday night thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And don't allow them to race. It's supposed to be race your way into the 32-car field. And you're not invited.
Yep.
Because they're worried about this guy dominating. Yeah. That's shitty. Yeah. Change rules. And all these guys change rules. That end of it's dumb. I think the premise of the show is cool. Because like we did the hat race thing, and we've done the cash chase down there.
Yep.
But like on the street, I think
it's at the track.
The track.
But the show itself,
I can't make the crickets go away.
The basis of the show is cool.
Yeah, the show was good for a while. Now it's just starting.
Now it's the same. But you look at
turn.
look back at episode or year one, and what are they in season like 47?
Yeah,
right now?
they're way
but
in there.
You look at that, like they were still fast. Don't get me wrong, big tires. They were still fast cars. I mean, they're a car on big tires can primarily beat a car on small tires. But you had guys like they were busting their ass. They were working. They were doing what we were doing. Yeah. Now it's like. Oh,
yeah, because I
remember
Proline
gave me a new engine to try. I need to throw it in, and that's dumb.
I mean, but at the same point,
we would take it.
Do the fucking same
we would take it. Yeah,
listen, I'd take it. I'm not knocking him on that.
Yeah. No, but I remember the one episode where Chuck was living in a motorhome.
Yeah.
Outside of his house because his house was under construction, but he's putting all his money in his car and his wife and like 5 kids in this little motorhome because he didn't have the money to do both. And it was like, I mean,
look where it got him.
He was struggling.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, we would do the same. And I'll give
we would do the same thing. I'm not knocking any of the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
Not knocking anybody. We're just looking at how it's become, and I think there's some things lost. I remember this concept of hat races, we used to go down to Rankin Road where people actually paid
That was like
out of their own money to build
Yeah.
their cars.
Down, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I remember
and you lose
this
the
car.
backstory of it too.
Yeah.
There was a guy that pulls up with an LT1 back in the day, and the starter craps out. And he wanted to race. There was another LT1 out there. He got down, pulled the starter out, switched them, did his race, put the starter back on the other car. And that's a real story.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we still.
That's a
No,
cool
we
story.
still try to help
Yeah,
people out.
yeah,
I mean, even if we're racing them, we still try
I mean,
to
our
help.
group does.
Yeah.
Our group.
I
look
think
at-
there is some of the groups
Yeah.
who would just.
I
leave.
threw
I mean, they're
we did the
progressive.
cash days over here in Chicago, and
Yeah.
and Mork spun out and
Oh,
fucked his
yeah,
wheels up, and
yeah.
Kenny gave
Yeah,
him his
Kenny
front
Kenny
got
wheels.
Forbes.
yeah.
Yeah, he gave his
So-
front wheels off the car, man. I
Yeah.
mean, he just
Yeah.
that, that's what they do.
I think
mean,
what hap-
buddies or not, I mean, people are still looking out for people.
I think the tipping point happened where cars got too fast, and now it's going back. So even like when we went to the cash days in St. Louis, he went to the first one. I don't know. Did you go to the second one or no?
No.
Yeah. So like, I got Chief and Murder Novo over there, and like they had
got
no
street
chance.
cars.
Yeah, he had brought the Cadillac, and Murder Novo bought the
Tahoe or
Man,
truck,
the Trailblazer, and I brought my Cadillac. We all knew we had no chance of winning, but dude, it was just. He even said he's like texting me. He's like, dude, this was the fucking best time we ever had.
Back to his
It's been a
roots.
long time. Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
get to the point where you have
Yeah.
4.0 cars, 430 cars on the street, and it's like it's stressful because you got to kill yourself, have a race team to make the car work.
Yeah.
But now it's cool if you're like, maybe you got a 950 car, and it's like, which is fast, even back when we raced. But like, that's cool because you can get down the road and have fun.
And it was. I mean,
fun.
like I said, I fucking paid $300. I knew I had no chance. It was just fucking fun to be
Yeah.
in, man. It was.
Yeah.
It was
Be
entertaining.
a part of it.
Yeah.
To be something different in another, another state and
Absolutely.
city and everything. So,
Absolutely.
but I think that's what's gonna happen. Is shit's gonna get too fast out here, and it's just gonna go.
Well,
back
the big thing with out here is we've still stayed small tire.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
Yeah.
We've never,
And a lot of our
nobody's
cars-
ever wanted to even jump to.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only big tire
Is
fluffer.
what's his name? Hold on. What would be the other one I'd use? Tough enough.
I think the small tire shit's cooler.
Yeah, the small tires.
It's harder to drive. You got to get in. You got to make it happen.
Yeah, and not to sidetrack here, but Muffin Bags was making comments because he was making fun of the show already.
Yeah, he was
on our
making-
but he's already. I guarantee he's.
But
back to
you
be
saying
on it.
his name,
Yeah.
he wakes up full morning wood till about
So
1 o'clock.
so
in the
anytime
afternoon.
anytime we mention
Full
Tough
morning.
Enough's name, we'll play that sound effect. We'll just have a whole
How
episode.
is your relationship with Tough Enough,
Look,
Juicin?
hey,
Are you
I
guys
don't
still
know.
in love?
That's right.
You guys still best friends?
No. I mean we're so. I like I was telling Lonnie.
Weren't
like
you
me,
the TV crew that interviewed him on that street race? What? He's like, not getting paid.
No. Oh yeah, no.
Losing control, they don't foresee anybody getting hurt.
Most of this group doesn't drink. They don't smoke dope or do stuff like that. They're pretty much a clean-cut bunch of kids that just have nothing better to do, so they come up here.
Brian Peterson owns what most suburban draggers agree is the fastest car on the street, which he's named Tough Enough. Tonight, Peterson is looking to put Tough Enough to the test.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told them. 3 in the flag, and that's all you're going to get. Now, if your car isn't fast enough to take that race, I'll take it somewhere else.
To give Ribs a head start of 4 car lengths. With the rest of the crowd at the finish line a quarter-mile away, the race begins. Within seconds, both cars are traveling over 100 miles an hour, both drivers praying that nobody pulls out in front of them. And it ends in an upset. Tough Enough has been beaten. But Tough Enough's owner is furious, racing back to accuse the starter of cheating.
There's a guy starting this race, not him! You guys understand this? Not him! When he turns the lights on, it doesn't mean that starts the race. He's not getting paid. And if he's got a problem with it, he can take it up with me.
Well, he eventually apologized for his outburst.
Yeah, that
He
was
stole
that.
the hit. He's not getting.
Yeah, dude, he's like it's sad
Yeah,
that
full
it's 7
camera
years.
shots out
It's
there.
7 years later, and he still beats the fucking horse that has been buried and turned into stone and
God.
everything. And like and even Boost 12 and Nick and whoever else is in the little group text were like, dude, like he always had an excuse when when this no prep thing come around. Like, here's your chance, dude.
we have given him.
Yeah,
well, first off, we've supported him. Yeah, we supported him. Like in the beginning, and everybody's like, "You guys," but as much as he got shit talked, everybody stood behind him. But then he went on some tangent where he made like 10 videos a day.
Yeah.
Lost his mind.
I don't know. You know what I mean? But I mean, there was.
Yeah, there's shit going on. You know? But the thing is, like, you can't. But then when you get opportunities, like, perfect example, you want to race him. He only wants to race at Great Lakes. He only wants to race up there.
Yeah.
You get him to come to Chicago at Joliet, and you can't. He won't go.
I got a gig that night.
I got a gig.
Yeah.
So, I got a gig.
Hey, Tough. I'll text. The Street Outlaw guys are coming. I'm like,
got a gig.
What day?
Well, I didn't even say the day.
What day?
Got a gig.
I got a gig that day.
Got a gig.
Dude, it's horrible.
Man, I think somebody needs to instigate a race here.
We have tried that.
Dude,
that's one that we can actually not get done.
It went from
the jet.
me and all us like talking shit to Daddy Dave and Chief and all them because it was a part of our group and kind of following along with it to a couple years back now, being like, I texted Dave, I'm like, dude, I get it now. Tough's a fucking idiot. I totally understand. You know, I see the other side because he
pushes the jet on everybody.
Oh my god, dude, and
the jet,
No, the jet.
You know, you guys are going to get Tough riled up now.
Oh, exactly. And we'll continue to not allow Tough on here, and we'll just have everyone call in except for Tough. And that's what'll happen because
he's gonna watch us. And I'm telling you, it's full.
Dude, it's
morning wood. All day because we said his name like 7 times.
Probably
he's gonna wake up in the backseat of the Nova in the morning. So it's brutal, dude. Like he's like, it almost got to a point where it was sad.
It was.
You know what I mean?
It was desperate.
Yeah.
It was.
He's always been a character.
Yeah.
No,
he can rile him up.
He can rile him up.
Yeah.
He did. He got him riled up.
Yeah.
But then he took it to another level. You beat somebody.
You beat someone because of us.
But even he beat him. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
The other guy spun. Whatever. You know.
Juicin, you got that old school video of Tough on Fox News racing and losing to
that's
that
what we're
Mustang?
talking about. So you ain't getting paid.
You got to bring it up.
Yeah,
you got to pull it up.
That's the whole reason why I went to the north side to find Tough enough to race.
All right, so hold on. We'll cut right here for a second, and then I'll insert the clip, and then we'll pretend we came back. So you guys get to watch
You
the
should
whole
not
clip.
have said that clip, dude. You're going to make this guy lose his mind.
Oh, hell yeah. And then Trent actually cut a song that I'm waiting for Trent to fucking send me because it's like a remix
Trent.
of You're Not Getting Paid. So we'll just use that as the intro.
Oh, man. Yeah, we was up in the north
This
side
is
looking
terrible.
for the movie star.
Yeah, this
Wonder where
dude
he's
with
at.
the Daisy Dukes and freaking.
Oh, jeez.
He's not getting paid.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember
my
that car
God.
was small block, small tire.
We got to see a race out of this. 10.5-inch tire, stock style suspension. Bring it.
Dude, he ain't gonna race anybody. He won't bring it on the street unless it's permitted. If you know, it's sad.
Yeah.
Well, no, and on top of that, if he's going to race anybody that could possibly beat him, and it turns into the jet.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring the jet car.
I'll bring the jet car. Everybody wants to see it. Nobody wants to fucking see it.
It's the flaming dildo. We don't want to see the
Nobody
flaming
wants to
dildo.
see it. The bad thing was Tony used it as an open house thing. And then
but that was
post. I know, but he posts that up. He's like, "Well, nobody likes it. Why'd you?"
Hey, you know what I remember most about you guys? By the way, I know we're not recording right now, but it's like a legacy thing.
We are.
Oh, okay.
We've been recording for
what I
an hour and 3
remember
minutes.
what I remember the most about the sod slide stick-up is the first time we came down to. I don't remember if we were going to race you guys or whatever, but you guys pulled out, the sprayers and started prepping the track and lighting shit on fire. We were like, what the fuck
we
is
were
that?
one of the first that started prepping in that sense. Everybody was
think you
pouring
were the
puddles,
first.
but nobody was spraying stuff. And
Nobody
we had
was
all
spraying
chipped
and
in.
lighting it on fire.
Method.
Dude, and
we had a method.
We all chipped in and got us a 55-gallon drum of VHC.
2.
And
we bought 2 from Jim at Winter Circle.
And that was unheard of.
And we got them cheap, and the first barrel was gone in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Between Blodgett,
What I find funny,
Baseline.
Yeah, most of it on Blodgett. Yeah.
Blodgett and Baseline.
What I find funny about that, every street racing video shows that, like if they came up with something cool. That's been around, guys.
And what's funny is these dudes will be like 100 degrees out, and they're spraying it and still lighting it, like because they think that's what you're supposed to do.
No, that was just because it was 40
there is
degrees out.
Yeah.
That's why we were lighting it. We were warming shit up. Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
I mean, we did it up on the north side racing, like I said. Tom and all
well,
the
now
guys
everything is puddle and go, which
Puddle
is
and
stupid.
go.
Well, they're trying.
And I understand that.
They're trying to take traction out of the equation. That way, the guy with the $1 million motor.
But the problem is, we had we had less power back then, so we were running them all out.
Yeah.
Right. Now they have more power, but they want less traction.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a
weird.
tuner's game now.
It is.
You know what I mean? Just like when we were tuning for his deal, and me and Kevin were talking, and I had gone on the bumper, you know? And I'm like, fuck, what should I do? You know? And he's like, give it more power. I'm like, dude, I can't play the wheel speed game on the street.
Yeah.
The wheel speed game doesn't work on the street because are you going to be first? Is it going to be prepped? Is it not going to be prepped? Are you going to be 12th?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're 12th,
you know
it's
what I
good.
mean? Now,
it's good.
You can't play the wheel speed game. You can't go up there and be like, oh, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? You just got to give it just enough power. So it's hard. It's a tuner's game. But I like the no traction. But the problem is, from a video guy.
I don't like no traction.
Well, you're a track racer. You felt it. But you, from a video guy, you don't get good footage.
Exactly.
You get two cars that look like turds, and they take off.
Yeah.
And they might go 150 out the back door.
It's just, I hate to say it, it's just like when the street all guys race the out of town guys. Those guys are on their own hometown racetrack, and good for them.
You got to hope you pull enough power
you got these dudes that just want to be on a TV fucking show and roll up, and it's a smoke show. It's a gap by 12, gap by 20. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
Yeah, so it's not good footage. So, I mean.
You don't pull enough power.
Well, the footage was always in the launch.
Sidewalk.
Yeah,
exactly. It was,
and that's the point. Like Tony still, all Tony's races are fully prepped. You know what I mean? Most of our hat races are puddle and go. Tony's, from a video thing, a puddle and go race is boring.
Yeah,
on
it
film.
is.
No wheelies, no nothing. Maybe a little smoke show
because it was a prepper's game too back then. Like you would bank on the dudes
we
prepped
prepped the best.
You guys were the only preppers I had ever seen.
And
I had never seen that before.
We knew how long it took, and you're not going to rush us. And there were certain times where we needed like 10, 12 minutes, but we would act.
And we were the only ones to do a legit full burnout,
and then
a little roller.
Yeah,
the paint. I called it paint roller. You just do a little bit. You just put a little down. You just roll it out because it was already the ground was so hot from the
when
burnout.
They back up, all you hear.
And we had it, like you said, everyone knew what to do with each other. So if you watch some of these guys, even the thing we just did, like you watch some of the guys like backing up, they're fucking backing up into the curb, doing this and that.
I backed up a lot of guys. I was spraying a lot.
Yeah, you sprayed a lot.
I sprayed a lot.
You were mainly my left front fender guy. I was typically in the car.
Yeah,
I mean, we did.
I was gangly enough to just stick my head out and open the door.
You had a street car, no cage, with a lap belt.
With my hold on,
Jeffrey.
Let me take my snowmobile helmet off and my Coles leather jacket.
And then you took the visor off the motocross helmet. I'm like, dude, at least put the visor back on. It looks so stupid without the visor. Oh, too funny. Yeah, we had a sequence. We had times. We knew we needed 10 minutes, but we didn't want to tell you we needed 10 minutes. So we would actually.
We'd still do our thing.
We would try to, hurry up, man. What are you making us wait for? Even though we needed to wait and knew that we would.
Because
we made the bad guys for making us wait.
They made us wait by telling them to hurry up, and it worked out.
And it worked out. You know what I mean? So and that
we kind of fed them that they were, taking too long and. Made them take longer, and we actually needed that.
And that's why I said Chicago was always about the hustle.
Yes,
it was. Always was.
Yeah, always. All that little stupid shit would add up to make that race be won.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
always.
And that's how I feel.
And I think that's what we did the best.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
it was hustle.
Because again, we go back. We did two races we shouldn't.
Any one of us wouldn't have been anything without. The rest of us, I think together we were
probably one of the best
really
tight knit groups. I mean, we didn't race New York and them. I mean, the .net guys or whatever. And maybe they were.
Yeah,
it looks like if you watch a lot of these guys,
maybe that's a new episode.
They got some fast shit. I've seen some videos.
Well, put some clothes on. You told us you weren't wearing any, and come down and start making something.
Bring that LT1 out.
Yeah, bring that.
As long as it's on the street. And
bring that Unibrow Pro Charger thing out.
We got something for them.
Back to the prepping thing. If you look at that video, that's over a decade old of Nick's car on baseline.
No, that was
it's
more
impressive.
Dude, you realize
today.
that was like 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. It's still fun to watch even today.
Well, that car hooked everywhere.
Yeah, we were good. That was probably the.
But that was cool. We
raced on.
Yeah, and that was that and Blodgett.
Yeah, well, Blodgett was
later.
Later became probably the best road.
Right, but that was cool because you had was it your dad up on the hill?
Oh yeah, with the spotlight.
With the spotlight. and getting that shot of the video was it was just awesome because you see the car corkscrew and just go.
Yeah.
It was
spotlights like shining in the car, and I'm actually driving yours.
Yeah.
The best part of that night that I remember was we had the unnamed backer with us, the older guy, and he was actually experiencing for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
And then the cops came in, and we all started running to the cars. I thought I was going to have to take this guy to the emergency room.
Well,
he couldn't fucking breathe when he got the car.
The problem is we didn't realize that the police station was 4 blocks away.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot of
Until
scoping.
later.
Once we
did
found the road,
we
we were like,
this
whoa,
badass road.
It's straight. God.
It's straight. It's concrete.
It's got wide
everything.
shoulders. We're like, we're staying. So we
no,
didn't even look
hardly
around.
any trucks came.
Yeah, dude.
We
If you
didn't
drove
even look
over
around.
here now, you'd be surprised of like
there's
how huge
million trucks, dude.
It's a billion,
Oh, man,
and then
it's crazy.
and it just
The
with
train
all the
yard. Well, the train yard's technically the same size.
I'm saying
but-
because
Now-
the train yard moved to the north side part too. So because it's
I got another thing to mention that everybody always asks. Everybody always asks me, even till today, about the big black Mustang that was in Houston.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody believes that video was fast forwarded.
Yeah. And
Well,
Now, I
it
can
does
tell
look
you-
fast forward.
I can tell you without a doubt. I edited that video. It's at 29.97 frames per second. It is what it is.
Yeah.
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 Means a
What
lot
we
to us.
did is we
Amen.
slowed down the wheel stand to show that the car came off the ground. We slowed that down, but the rest of it,
or then you went to normal.
Went to normal.
I played it normal.
Yeah.
So everybody that thinks that was sped up, it was not. That car was fast. And
car was
Houston got
real
lucky.
fast.
The other thing is the car looked even faster because when if you're out in the middle of the country and there's nothing around on the sides,
you don't.
You can't,
Yeah.
you can't tell.
Yeah.
So when you
Can't
see
judge it.
trees and lights and stuff,
Yeah.
it makes things look faster also.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just
whatever happened with that? Didn't you guys have a race locked in?
Well, we had a race locked in, and we went down there, and he had blown it up like the day before.
Getting nervous.
Yeah, so the first thing we did, we rolled into town. We said, you got to prove to us that you've blown it up. And he did. He was real cool. He opened up his shop, and he showed us the parts and pieces, and it was legit. But, yeah, so then we just figured we'd try their local scene. They knew we were coming, so we figured it'd be packed, which it was. But they just weren't trying to truly race, you know what I mean? And then they wanted to do a lot of they wanted to do a lot of 8th mile stuff, and we just weren't 8th mile back
we're like,
then.
fuck
We were
that shit.
We were diehard quarter
But they
mile.
wanted 8th mile with that. I heard they were asking for ridiculous spots.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
the
why.
closest race was the Mustang on motor against some Nova with a root style 2 carburetor blower sticking out of the hood, and that was the closest thing. I think the funniest thing was the girl, because we wouldn't show them what motor.
Yeah.
And there was
that's
something
right.
about the girl, and you guys were like, well, we'll let her in, but that's it.
That was the hot
And
girl
then-
from Houston.
And then
I remember that.
after she came out of the trailer, she couldn't answer anything, which was the whole point.
Yeah.
Except for the one dude was smart enough to ask her, where's the distributor?
Yeah.
She said it's in the back. He goes, I fucking knew it. Like, we were like, oh, shit. We
Of
didn't
all
think
the
about
things.
that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the one thing. So,
That was too bad, man.
Yeah.
You guys could have cracked a lot of heads down there.
oh, man, I'm telling
I
you.
actually got a question. I have a question for Juicin. How in the fuck did you get involved with Pinks? When you talked to them on the phone, couldn't you hear that they didn't know what they're talking about?
Well, all right. So here to jump on that, do you want to stay on the phone while we go through the Pink's video? Because we were going to make that another episode, but I was.
We'll probably
It
have
has
to make
to
it
be.
another.
You have
Yeah.
to.
So
Well,
I'll
you
cut
can touch up on it because
Well,
you could just touch on it because I remember, you guys go there. We got some sponsorship. I don't remember for the car. You put the car quickly or something.
So here, okay, I'll just cut this part out. But what I'm saying is we're over an hour now, so I was going to make the
We're gonna
Scandalous
make it
one
another one.
episode, and then I was going to do the Pinks thing because you were with us at Pink. So do you want to just stay on the phone while we do the Pink shit? Or
Fuck
you-
it.
I mean,
But legitimately, I legitimately want to know how the fuck
that's
did
what
you get involved with
that's
that
what I'm
guy.
saying. So all right, hold on. So here, go take a piss, and we'll call you back in 5 minutes because we're going to take a break.
You got
We'll
it.
do the Pinks
All right,
thing.
man.
All right.
Back up, back up, back up.